Hello friends, I'm George, the nice medic gentleman. Welcome back to my channel guys. I hope that all of you are having a great day. Today's video, as the title says, is going to be about 10 fragrances from the house of Lattafa that I will always keep a bottle in my collection. Now this won't be a ranking, I'm not going to rank them from my most favorite to my least favorite. I'm just going to show you those 10 fragrances. Plus there'll be one honorable mention, a bonus entry of a fragrance that I just recently acquired from Lattafa that has impressed me enough to show it in this video. So let's go. Let's start with the bonus entry first. As I said, this is a fragrance that I acquired a few weeks ago and so far it's been quite impressive. It's called Oud Intense. Now this is a relatively unknown fragrance, there aren't that many reviews out there. What can I tell you about this fragrance? This is a very sweet unisex type of a scent. You know, it's sweet, it's spicy, slightly oudy, very unisex. So far it's shown pretty decent performance. I won't go too much into specific about this one because I want to keep testing it and then I'll do a full review of this one. But just so to let you know, I don't think this is a straight up clone of any fragrance out there, but it's done in a similar way to something like Parfum de Marly's Ocean. Also, it's quite similar to something like Killian's Black Phantom, especially on the dry down, that sweetness. All in all, it's been really impressive so far and it's dirty cheap. The bonus entry for this video is called Oud Intense. Let's start off now with the real list, and the first fragrance that I'm going to show you is called Sheikh Al Shouk Final Edition. Now this is a fragrance that's done in a very similar way to YSL EDP. There are other more famous clones out there like Fakar Black, like Yeah from Maison Alhambra, which have received more hype, but out of all of the clones that I've tried, this interpretation of the DNA is my favorite one. It's slightly darker compared to the original, slightly spicier, more woody, less sweet. Think of it as a bit more mature and maybe even a little bit more versatile version of YSLY's EDP DNA. The second fragrance comes from the Lattafa Pride line and it's called Alania Silver. This is Lattafa's take on the Bulgari's Tiger DNA, and probably out of all of the clones that I've tried, scent-wise, this is the closest one this is the clone that will get you closest to the original scent. Now, it's not my most favorite interpretation of that DNA. There are other fragrances that I enjoy slightly more compared to Alania Silver, but I cannot deny the fact that this fragrance here is done very well. Performance is good, about 8, maybe even over 8 hours of performance with nice projection. Price tag a little bit higher than the usual Lattafa pricing, but this is member of the Pride line. Presentation is fantastic, super versatile fragrance, very high compliment factor. If you're looking for the thing that will get you closest to the original Tiger scent, Alania Silver definitely deserves some attention. The third fragrance is called Amir Oud Intense, or Intense Oud, as it's the whole name of this fragrance. I really like this one. This was one of the first Lattafas that I ever got into my collection over a year ago, and I've really enjoyed this fragrance ever since I got it. The scent of this one, of course, is all about the mix of some sweet notes like vanilla, some sugar notes, woodsy notes, a touch of spices, and quite a strong incense note in here, quite a strong smoky note. This is an interpretation of the scent DNA of By the Fireplace, done really nicely, blended really nicely. Performance here is great, it's well above average, 8 to 9 hours of performance, strong projection, surprisingly high compliment factor, a really cozy type of scent that works great in cold weather, you know, late fall and winter time. I really like to wear this in the evening time when the cold season arrives. Price tag is very low. I like the design of the bottle. It's simplistic and yet looks really elegant. All in all, this is a fantastic scent, and I've really enjoyed this fragrance. The third fragrance in this list is called Amir Oud. The next fragrance is very similar to the previous one. The fourth one here is very similar to the third one that I showed you, and this one is called Raga Oud Intense. The DNA of this fragrance is very similar to the previous one. It's again a mix of a combination of ouds, incense, sweet notes. The difference here is that this has a stronger smoky note, all in all, and it's also quite a bit more sweet, especially on the dry down. This is a little bit more, let's say, a little bit more of a challenging version of the DNA of Amir Al Oud. Also, this is quite similar to By the Fireplace. Can be a bit challenging because of the strong smoky vibe that you get out of this fragrance, but I think it's worth it. Definitely has a sort of a Arabic or Oriental vibe to it. Good performance, good projection. Another very cheap fragrance. All in all, this is another great interpretation of By the Fireplace DNA. The fifth fragrance is from the Hayti line, and it's called Hayti Gold Elixir. Another one of my recent purchases from the house of Lattafa. This one is very similar to something like Armani's called Profumo, not a straight up clone, but done in a similar way. The opening is all about some nice fruits like bergamot, peach, a nice suede leather note, a touch of spiciness from a saffron note, and then the dry down becomes a really enjoyable mix of that suede leather with some sweetness from amber and vanilla notes. As I said, done in a similar way to Code Profumo, not a straight up clone. Performance here is good, above average, about 7 to 8 hours. Projection is nice. Complement factor is nice. This fragrance is good for cold weather usage, especially fall and early spring. I like the bottle, I like the scent DNA. It's another dirty cheap fragrance, and if you like Code Profumo and you're looking for something cheap as an alternative, definitely check out Hayti Gold Elixir. The sixth fragrance is going to be one of the most famous Lattafa fragrances out there, and it's called Lattafa Assad. Probably the most famous clone of Dior Sauvage Elixir, and one of the first clones to hit the markets about a year and a half ago. Again, one of my first Lattafa purchases, and I've been really enjoying this one. Again, not a straight up clone of Sauvage Elixir, it lacks some of that spiciness up top, but the dry down is quite close to Sauvage Elixir. The whole scent profile is really close to the DNA of Sauvage Elixir. Performance here is great, 8 to 9 hours of performance, very nice projection for the first hour and a half up to 2 hours. Prices, this is still very cheap, about what, $25–30. I don't like red, I'm not the hugest fan of the bottle design, but apart from that, this has been a really enjoyable fragrance for me. The seventh fragrance is again from the Pride line, the Lattafa's Pride line, and it's called Ishq Al Shuk Gold. I've been really enjoying this fragrance lately. It's a fantastic creation. The opening is all about the mix of leather and saffron with a touch of vanillic sweetness in the background, and then on the dry down, that leather is still very prominent. The vanilla becomes more prominent. There's some more added sweetness from tonka bean, from caramel. All in all, sort of a very dark, mysterious and strong fragrance. Performance here is great, almost beast mode, 9 to 10 hours of performance, strong projection. Price tag again a little bit higher because it's part of the high-end Pride line from Lattafa. Good complement factor. Just keep in mind with this fragrance that you need to let it macerate a little bit before it can reach its full potential. At least with my bottle that was the case. The seventh fragrance in this video, Ishq Al Shuk Gold. For the next two fragrances, I'm going to cheat a little bit and I'm going to include one of the many Lattafa sub-brands, which is called Al Watania. The eighth fragrance in this video is called Attar Al Weasel, and it comes from the house of Al Watania. And I've kept saying this, but to me this is the best clone of Jean-Paul Gaultier's Ultramont. The best clone meaning the fragrance that will get you the closest scent-wise to the original scent. I'm a big time lover of the original Ultramont. I have a few bottles of that fragrance in my collection. You know, that sweet bubblegummy pear in the opening, the dry down, the vanilla lavender combo. Great, youthful, playful type of scent. Performance here is great, 9 to 10 hours of performance, strong projection in the first 2 hours. Another dirty cheap fragrance that costs about $25 to $30. Comes nicely packaged with nice presentation. All in all, a fantastic fragrance, and in my opinion, the best interpretation of Jean-Paul Gaultier's Ultramont on the market. Attar Al Weasel from the house of Al Watania. The ninth fragrance is again from the house of Al Watania, and it's called Cayenne Classic. This, to my nose, is the best clone of Dior Oud Intense right now on the markets out there. It's a super fantastic clone, very high quality, will get you very close to the original scent. The only way that this differs to my nose is that this has maybe a slightly sweeter scent profile, just a touch bit sweeter. Maybe the iris in the opening here is slightly stronger compared to the original Dior Oud Intense, but all in all, as I said, one of the best clones that I have ever tried, maybe the best clone that I have ever tried. Very good performance, not as good as with the original, but still will get you at least 8 hours of performance with nice projection in the first hour and a half up to 2 hours. Price tag a little bit more expensive, $35 to $40, but still it's what, a quarter or a third of the price of the original fragrance. Comes very nicely packaged in a nice looking big nice looking box. The bottle looks very nice, metal cap, good sprayer, all in all a fantastic packaging. If you're looking for the best clone of Dior Oud Intense, definitely check out Cayenne Classic. And the last fragrance in this video, the 10th fragrance in this video, of course, is going to be none other than the Lattafa Camera. Probably the most famous fragrance out of the House of Lattafa at the current time. Fragrance that's gotten a lot of hype, a huge amount of hype, and for a good reason. Now people keep saying that this is a clone of Killian's Angel Share, and I keep telling them that this is not a clone of Angel Share. Yes, it's done in a similar way, but this is not an actual clone of Angel Share. This fragrance is all about the sweetness. You know, you got vanilla, amber, tonka bean, strong cinnamon note, praline, dates. As I said, this is all about the sweetness. That's it. I love the bottle design. I love the juice color. I love the performance of this fragrance. It's pretty much a beast mode performing fragrance. Over 10 hours of performance. Very strong projection. Very high compliment factor. A totally unisex scent because of the amount of sweetness. Great for nighttime usage, especially in the cold season. Prices are a little bit higher, but I think it's worth it because of what you get in return. Great bottle, great packaging, all in all a fantastic fragrance. The 10th fragrance in this video, the Lattafa Camera. And so in today's video I showed you 10 fragrances from the House of Lattafa or some of their sub-brands, plus one bonus entry that I will always keep in my collection. I hope that you found this video interesting. If you did, give it a like, and I also hope that you're going to join me in my next video. And until then, stay safe and bye bye.